Hi everyone! Press like and subscribe to the channel. Then I will tell you an amazing story. I'm Sherry. I have a twin sister, Jerry, and we used to live at our grandmother's country estate. It used to be a private boarding school for girls from noble families, and our grandma had been its principal. The state had accused the institution of an outdated approach to education and taken away its license. Our grandma brought us up as real ladies. Jerry and I were homeschooled. We didn't use phones or the internet. There was no TV we could watch either. I'm so tired of these ugly dresses. I think they're cute. When we went shopping in the city, I saw some girls from the local school. They looked horrid. Their skirts were way too short, and the less said about their makeup, they were laughing loudly and even holding boys' hands. A real lady would never do that. Jerry just rolled her eyes in response. We were quite different. Jerry used her pocket money to buy a real phone. She used it in secret and dreamed of leaving the estate. Unfortunately, her dream soon became a reality for the both of us. After our mom had died when we were very young, Grandma hadn't wanted our dad to raise us, and she got sole custody. Now it turned out that she had no money left to support us, and we would have to move in with our father again. While we were driving, Jerry was glowing with happiness, but I was uneasy. I didn't like all these changes. Girls, I am so glad that we're finally together. We should go shopping and buy you something less old-fashioned. That's a great idea! I've dreamed of looking like a normal teenager for so long. I like the clothes I have. Dad looked at me in surprise, but didn't insist. Jerry ended up buying a bunch of bright clothes and cosmetics. You're gonna embarrass yourself. Don't you remember what Grandma taught us? Sherry, we can't keep living like we were born centuries ago. I resented how easily my sister forgot about the years that we'd spent learning the rules of etiquette, dancing, and everything a real lady should know and be able to do. Besides, it turned out that Dad had decided to send us to a regular school. Hi, we're your new classmates. My name is Jerry, and this is my sister Sherry. We're twins. Our new classmates were so ill-mannered. They were noisy and kept laughing at stupid jokes. And the worst part was my sister fit right in, but I wasn't about to take part in it. Not for anything. I picked up my textbooks and I moved away. Everyone looked at me askance, but I didn't care. I didn't want to be like them. How was your first day at school, girls? Just imagine, our dad ordered burgers for dinner. Of course, he worked late, but that didn't justify being irresponsible. It was great, Dad. We met our new classmates and they were really friendly. What about you, Sherry? My experience was quite different. And I'm sorry, but I'm not eating this garbage. If you would excuse me. I got up from the table and I went to my room, and soon my sister knocked on my door. Sherry, I think you should try to be softer and relax a little. We're not in the estate anymore. We don't have to act like ladies. Let me decide how to live for myself. Jerry left, sulking. I missed my grandma. I wanted to be reading by the fireplace or walking in the estate's park, not listening to the noise of the TV from behind the door. The next day, a young teacher came up to me at school. Sherry, dear, could I talk to you about something? Of course. Is something wrong, Miss Hull? I know that you and your sister used to be homeschooled, and you had to follow some old-fashioned traditions. But you don't need to do that at our school. You can dress more comfortably and modernly. There's no need to wear such strict clothes. I'm sorry, Miss Hull, but I'm too well-mannered to wear something as revealing as my classmates. Revealing? Who do you even take us for? Ugh. I didn't even know twins could be so different. Jerry is really cool, but Sherry's just arrogant. What? Me? Arrogant? Stop looking down at us, lady, or you'll be in trouble. Was she threatening me? I couldn't stand it. Tears streamed down my face, and I ran out into the yard so those rude girls couldn't see my moment of weakness. Sherry, come on. Those girls are right. You do need to learn how to live in the modern world. Grandma loves us, but the way that she made us live was wrong. Teenagers need to have freedom. We can't just play cricket, waltz, and knit all the time. You know, sis, I'm disappointed in you. It didn't take you long to stoop to their level at all. Jerry looked like she wanted to say something else, but I didn't listen to her. Staying at school was unbearable, so I decided I wouldn't go back there anymore. I pretended to be sick, and I stayed at home for a week. One evening, my dad knocked on my door. Sherry, honey, I know how hard it is for you to get used to your new life. But you have to go back to school, or your whole family will be in trouble.
Skipping class isn't gonna solve your problems.
Dad gave me a pitiful and pleading look that I just couldn't say no to. And the next day I went back to school. It turned out that a boy had transferred into our class while I was gone. His name was Tony Sendler. When I saw him, I was stunned. He was so handsome. His smile, eyes, and his gestures all seemed to put a spell on me. Tony, do you know that really popular video blogger?
Yeah, we hung out at a music festival together and had a great time. It's so great that you're gonna be studying with us. I'm gonna tell my younger sister all about it. She's your biggest fan. I know she's gonna be over the moon.
I didn't really know anything about modern trends, but it was clear from the scraps of conversation I heard that Tony filmed videos, and then thousands of people watched them. Everyone was calling him a blogger. I wanted to find out more about Tony, and I took Jerry's phone while she was in the shower. Grandma had a landline in her office, and I sometimes had to call the gardener or the governess. However, Jerry's phone didn't have any buttons. There were some strange windows open on the screen, and I barely managed to get rid of them. Finally, though, I found Tony's page, and I got so carried away watching his videos that I almost got caught by my sister. I really liked my classmate, and I decided I was gonna get to know him better. Oh, of course! I could ask Tony out for a walk. Hi, Tony. He looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time.
Hello, you're Jerry, right?
No, I'm Sherry, her sister.
Oh, right. Jerry looks a bit different.
Would you like to go for a walk with me in the park this evening?
Look, Miss Perfect has a crush on Tony and's asking him out for a date. Huggy Wuggy is more likely to appear in our school than Tony is to go anywhere with this psycho. Sherry, you do realize it's not the 19th century anymore, right?
How could they say something so cruel? Everyone was laughing, and even Tony smiled. Who was Huggy Wuggy anyway? Some other school clown? I was so hurt by the words of my classmates. Dad was wrong. I was never going to get used to living around frivolous ignoramuses. So I ran out of the classroom. I would never go back to school again. Never. At home, I told my dad I wanted to go back to Grandma's estate. He looked lost.
Sherry, I have custody of you now. I can't separate you and Jerry. I want to have a normal life. Do you really want to go back there and stay away from everyone else again? I do. My sister waited for a while before coming to my room again. She probably thought I had calmed down. Yeah, right. Look, things will get better soon, I promise you. We'll figure something out. Our classmates will change their minds about you. Give me just a couple of days. I can fix everything.
It's already been a few weeks since we moved here. Things are only getting worse.
A couple of days, Sherry. For me?
Fine, I'll agree with you, even though I know it won't work. I hope you'll come to understand that we'll be better off at Grandma's. And Jerry gave me a weird look. It was almost like she pitied me. I was sad all evening, but then I went to Dad's office and I sat down at his computer. It turned out that Huggy Wuggy was a stupid fictional monster with a huge mouth. Knowing that just made me feel even worse, because I realized what the girl had meant. My chances of dating Tony were just as real as that creature. Things were fine when I was in class. While I studied, I forgot about everything for a while. However, my classmates sometimes threw crumpled pieces of paper at me, and the girls openly discussed how I dressed and laughed at me during recess. And then, at the end of the day, something shook the entire school up. I was standing by a locker when I heard the girls screeching. Running down the hallway, I couldn't believe it. There was a huge Huggy Wuggy. Someone had dressed up as that monster, then ran around and disappeared around the corner. Everyone at school was discussing what had happened, and no one could understand who would do something like that.
Sherry, could I talk to you?
Yes?
Did you see the Huggy Wuggy at school?
I nodded, trying to figure out what my classmate was getting at.
It made me realize that nothing is impossible. Do you still want to go for a walk with me?
I was so happy. If that blue monster appeared at school again, I would definitely kiss his huge plush face. At home, Jerry came up to me and offered me her clothes and makeup.
I think Tony will appreciate it if you change a little bit for him.
Thanks, Jerry, but my beliefs still haven't changed. Tony asked me out, which means he already likes me, including my appearance and my clothes. Our date was going great. Tony was so nice and courteous. He even pulled out a chair for me in the cafe, just as required by the rules of etiquette.
everyone says you and your sister used to live with a strict grandmother?
Yes, Grandma was hard on us, but it was always for our own good. Every girl should have good manners and be able to do something with their hands.
Wow, like what?
Well, we learned to embroider and cook. Teachers would come to our estate, and we would talk or read books in the evening. Sometimes we even learned classical dance.
Well, I like locking and hip-hop. I never thought I'd want to learn something like waltz.
Waltzing is so easy, though. Do you want to try it? And Tony happily agreed. He left the cafe, and we came to a small square. I showed him how to move his hands and his feet, and soon we were spinning like we were at a real ball. I was so happy. I couldn't fall asleep for the longest time that night. I just kept remembering every moment of that evening. Oh, if only I knew what I'd be in for at school the next day.
Only Tony could think of something like that. It's brilliant. Look who's here.
The whole school was laughing behind my back and discussing some video Tony had posted. I didn't understand what was going on. I even came up to my sister. Jerry, give me your phone.
Oh, Sherry, you really shouldn't.
Oh, I needed to know the truth, so I snatched the phone out of my sister's hands. I opened Tony's page, and I felt my blood run cold. The video was called How to Become a Granny at 15. He had filmed our date. Well, someone had filmed us surreptitiously, and then Tony had edited the video and added some caustic comments.
We learned to embroider and cook, as well as wash lace pantaloons, I'm sure.
After the waltz was shown, Tony said he felt like he'd aged 200 years. My heart was broken. I knew that no one could stop me now. I was going back to my grandmother no matter what. I packed all my things and I opened my closet in search of a suitcase. It was lying on the top shelf. I pulled the handle to get it out, and a plush head of a Huggy Wuggy costume fell on me along with it. What was that doing there? Oh, of course. It had been Jerry. She must have wanted to get back at me for everything I'd said to her. So she had dressed up as Huggy Wuggy so Tony would go on a date with me. She had to have known what he would do. She had probably been the one to film us. I couldn't let her get away with this. I decided I would stay a bit longer and teach my sister a lesson.
Jerry, you have basketball tryouts tomorrow, remember? You'll have to skip school.
Yeah, Dad. I just grinned. That was my chance. The next morning, after waiting for my dad and Jerry to leave, I went to her room and I opened the closet. Her makeup bag on the table also came in very handy. All day long, I pretended to be Jerry to ruin her reputation. I was rude to all of our classmates and teachers, knocked over a trash can, wrote nasty things all over the bathroom walls. And when a teacher came up to me, I thought she would reprimand me for my antics. But,
Jerry, your project was approved. I'm sure your sister will be so happy.
She handed me a folder and left. I opened it and I was stunned. My sister had apparently decided to start a Be a Lady club. Jerry wanted all the girls to join it and learn good manners. And she even wanted me to become the head of the club. Jerry thought I could prove that being a lady was cool, even in the modern world. My sister kept trying to help me, but I had treated her really terribly. I immediately tried to fix everything I'd done. I cleaned up the trash, washed all the walls of the bathroom, and I went to talk to the girls. I'm sorry for what I said today.
Don't worry, Jerry. We all have bad days.
That's when I got an idea. By the way, have you heard about the new club? I told them about Jerry's idea, and they seemed genuinely interested. I hoped everything would work out, but in the meantime, I knew I needed to talk to Jerry. Listen, I was wrong. Now I know that you were just trying to help me.
Sherry, there's something else you should know. I recently overheard a phone conversation between Dad and Grandma. The estate is going to be sold to pay for debts. We have nowhere to go back to, so I really needed you to learn how to live here. I knew that you liked Tony, and I thought that he could help you get used to our new life. That's why I dressed up as Huggy Wuggy. Thanks to my sister, I managed to understand that not all modern girls were simpletons. Jerry helped me change my look a little, and we soon opened the club. It quickly became popular. Even some of the girls from the graduating class joined it. I was no longer an outcast, and I got along with all my classmates. Soon, Tony came up to me. Sherry, I'm sorry about that video. I was only thinking about my popularity, and I didn't stop to think about your feelings. Ha! Gaining popularity by ridiculing others is awful. Come on, Sherry, don't listen to him.
Wait, sis, I think I have an idea. Soon, Tony and I filmed a video that went viral at our school, and it was watched by thousands of other people. We managed to combine modern and classical dances. I'm even thinking about starting my own channel. Do you think I should do it?
Hey, school! Squad? Like to see your life in comics? Stories that are so embarrassing that even friends do not know about them. Don't say you don't have such ones. They belong on the Anon Please channel. Check it out! Click here.